Hello, One Earth Live. This is Shaun Conaway with Boldly Now. I am really excited to have PrinceEA with me, international YouTube star, spoken word artist, and really, really great guy. Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shaun. Really good to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of conversations that we want to have today. First, I want to just really quickly check in with you. How are you doing? How's your family doing? How's St. Louis doing? Things okay in the world? And if not, what do you see out there?
Thank you for asking, man. My personal life is well. I can't complain. Family's healthy. Talk to my mom every day, my pops every day. Everybody's good. My brother, he's in law enforcement. He's in Cleveland, so he's kind of still on the streets, and he's got his essential job to do. But he's good. Him and his daughter are good. So the immediate family as well. My global family, I know a lot of people are suffering. The economy has collapsed in many ways. A lot of people have lost their livelihoods. But I always try to see opportunity in these problems. And I think there is a lot of opportunity for growth, for evolution, for change, for stillness, for taking this time of social distancing and going inward. So I think it's a great opportunity for people, and we're going to see a lot come out of this. I was talking to my brother the other day, and he told me a fact that I didn't know. He said during the Great Depression, the life expectancy went up by like 7 years or something like that. I was like, what? So there's a lot of good that can also come out of these terrible on the surface situations. And I think all of us can only be catalysts. We can do the best that we can with what we have.
Yeah, and it seems like, like you said, maybe our lifespans will expand. Or it seems like there's opportunity here, and I think we feel it. I mean, like our hearts are broken in some ways, and our society and civilization is broken. But you might argue that it was broken before the pandemic. It's just the pandemic really demonstrated to us the brokenness of it. But there's also this hopeful, and maybe not even hopeful. There's this kind of passion that seems to be ignited in people about doing something or giving something or contributing to something or making things better in some way. And that seems like that's a great gift. I mean, I think that's the greatest thing that we could come out with, is more of a capacity to give and love.
That's why we're here. That's why we've always been here. I know you interviewed Bruce Lipton. As a species, we didn't survive because of competition. It was collaboration. It was us coming together in harmony, working together as one, that allowed us to be this species that we are today. And now we have to make the next step. You know, we've had social conditioning kind of take us into this individualized mode of reality, and now we have to evolve into a collective field of reality.
Yeah, great. And I think that's a great segue to introduce our audience just a little bit to this project that you and I worked on, that hasn't actually been released to the world. In fact, we're going to be releasing it. Actually, you may be watching it for the first time in the world right now. And it's a project that, it came out of dialogue between you and Bruce and other people talking about this idea of it being an imaginal cell, these cells in the in-between state between the caterpillar and the butterfly. I don't want to give away too much of the video, so I'll pause here, and then we'll play the video for everybody, and then you and I can come back and talk about what it means to interact and orchestrate as one. Okay, here we go. Here's the video.
Everybody says that this world can't go on as it has been going on. They say our systems are failing us, the economy, healthcare, government, and that we are ruining the planet around us one tree at a time. They say we're not safe to walk around our town and our schools on our streets. And when I look around, it seems true. Unless it isn't. You see, a caterpillar spends its whole life in a frenetic drive to consume as many leaves as it can, never stopping. But then one day the caterpillar does stop. On the inside, all of its systems start to fail. And slowly the cocoon hardens, the caterpillar disintegrates into an amino acid soup, and that caterpillar is no more. In that moment, cells that had been dormant in the caterpillar begin to rise up. At first as independent single-cell organisms, then they come together clustering in a community, and they imagine their way out of the wreckage of the caterpillar, and they build a butterfly. Yeah, you can see where this is going. But let's stop for a moment and ask ourselves, what would become of the caterpillar if those independent imaginal cells never came together? That's right, no butterfly. So if our systems are failing us and disintegrating to the ground, who are the imaginal cells amongst us, those brightly burning independent people? From where I stand, it's you. And you and you and you and us, every one of us. And all we have to do is come together, bring our brilliance together, not to get something or push some agenda, but to come together as one. I believe that this is the time for us to rise together, to embrace one another and make the leap from me to we. Yeah, I like the sound of that. We together. We rise up. We rise up for love. We rise up for each other. We rise up so that no one is left behind. We rise up for the future of our planet. We rise up for equality, for justice in our streets, for men and women, young and old, no matter what shape, size, color, or race. We rise up for you and for me and for us together. We rise up together because if we stay separated, isolated, then our brilliant lights will fade and no butterfly will emerge from the cocoon. So how will your voice contribute to the song of the universe? Universe, our one song. This is our time to come together and bravely step into the future where we rise up, lift off, and soar.
And we'll rise up, like the waves will rise up. In spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Okay, welcome back. Just got to watch the first ever premiere of The Imaginal, starring my dear friend Richard Williams, PrinceEA. We were just talking before we got on that even the way this video was done like imaginal cells. There wasn't a brand that paid for this or a sponsor or anything. Bruce talks about the imaginal thing, and I know you've been on stages having that conversation with him, and then it caught my imagination. I'm like, wow, could we do an art piece and a video piece about this? And I wrote some script things down. You and I talked, and then we met up in LA. We filmed that, and then an animation team in the UK started working on that. I don't even know. I mean, I know them, but I've never met them. And the music and all these pieces come together. I feel for myself just really moved to be able to do that, to have that opportunity to share these big messages, have the collaborative community, and I think I want people to know that. I want people to know that these pieces, these finished videos and stuff, don't just appear, and they're not done in a factory. They're done by people who really care and love their topic, and you've been doing this for years. Like, I just hope people know how much you love the things that you do and how much you love and how much other people's love gets put into that. Tell us a little bit about how you work as an imaginal cell in this world right now.
Wow. There's so many things that you said sparked so many different ideas in my mind. And we can use so many different metaphors to convey this message. One of my favorite metaphors is the man who's working on his house. He's got the hammer, right? He's got the hammer in one hand, in his right hand, and the nail in his left hand, and he's hammering the nail, and then his right hand hits the left hand, right, with the hammer. Now, the left hand never goes, give me that hammer, I want revenge. Right? It never says that. No, the right hand immediately goes to, even though they're different hands, the right hand immediately goes to the left hand to comfort it. Why? Because even though they look different, they might have different nail polish on the appearance, they're part of one body, one whole. And I think this realization that we are part of one body is the most profound discovery a human being can make in their lifetime. It's the true self versus the ego. I was just researching, you were talking about how this project came together, and I was researching how ideas come together. And Michael Jackson, he's got a great interview where he's interviewed by this guy, and he's like, where did this beat come from? Where did this beat come from? He says, I don't know. It just happened. It just came. It just happened. Beethoven, he said his ideas come from the muse. Einstein, he said, why is it that I get my best ideas in the shower? And I think when it might be going on a tangent, but if we can follow me, it's even the thoughts that come to us aren't created by us. They happen to us. Right? We're vehicles, and we have the choice. We have one choice, they say. I think it was Ramana Maharshi. He said, we have one choice. We can identify as the true self, as the whole, or we can identify as the ego, as the mind, right? And I think when we can come to this humility that Michael Jackson and Beethoven had, that Einstein had, this whole humility, and we can become vessels, right, for the larger, greater good. This is when we can reach our potential as a species. And this is what I personally, my own opinions, when people ask me, Prince, how do you come up with these ideas for these videos? How do you reach something? I don't do anything. I'm just trying to be as vacuous, as spacious as I can for things to come through. That's it. This isn't a wishy-washy new age idea. It's proven fact. It's discoverable in each and every person watching this. And all you have to do is just be still, be quiet, and you'll see it.
Yeah, I love that. And I just, again, for anybody in the audience that makes things or wants to build a business or do something big in the world, just to I always have the feeling that I'm listening more than I'm making when I'm in the process of generation or invention. And it's a listening with imagination. It's not like my imagination's turned off. It's not like listening when you're looking at you're scrolling your Facebook feed, or that's not that listening. It's listening for a certain, thing that resonates or calls. And then I let that thing that I'm listening for into my brain. And often I don't do anything about it. I just, I think I have a metaphor, you got on your stove, you got the two front burners, and then you got the two back burners. All the stuff that I'm listening for goes in a big pot on the back burner. And I don't add seasoning to it. I'm not trying to make anything out. I just keep putting stuff in there. And the stuff that's together seems to gel or become something else. We can never do the great things we do by ourselves. It all comes in through something, and then it comes through our human connections. The nails are great. Have you ever tried to try nailing a nail without holding it with one hand, right? It requires the two hands. Yeah. It's not that one hand's better than the other hand. It requires both of them. And I think, right now, especially, people are feeling a sense of urgency. Man, this world is messed up, or this COVID-19 is messed up, or my government's something is not right. And I think there's a completely rational, insane reaction to this time. And then this fire of I want to do something. I want to contribute something. And it's the coming together that makes that possible.
I love that. Yeah, it's up to each and every one of us to be in control of what thoughts we want to believe, period. ultimately we don't have enough information to be pessimistic. Right? We don't know what the larger outcome will be. One of my favorite phrases is all is well and unfolding just as it should. And when we can understand that this is some divine perfection, even though it may not look like it on the surface, right? When we can understand that, we can approach these problems, not call them problems, but call them opportunities. We can approach these opportunities with a much more gracious heart and grateful heart, and not the energy of change, of anger, of this shouldn't be like this. Because we've tried that. We've tried that. And I think until we understand that all is well and unfolding as it should, we won't be able to reach our fulfillment, I think, as this species on this planet.
Yeah, well said. So, things have changed for you. I know you used to travel quite a bit. Have you been home a lot lately?
I mean, that was my job. That was my life, right? Traveling, speaking, creating. But I'm a homebody anyway. Yeah. I'm naturally feel like, and I know a lot of people are too. Like I think some of us are shy to say it, right? We're like, I actually kind of enjoy being at home. I do. I enjoy being at home because it's like you can. I think you can just reformulate and regather your energy, and you can be still and be present. It's good to pause. You have to have these pauses in your life in order to really, they say you want to go fast, go slow. Life works often in these paradoxes. But yeah, life has changed. But, for me, I create, and for the last 10 years, I've created in the digital world anyway. I understood back then that in order to reach people effectively, you got to go to where they are. And most people are already on their mobile devices, their smartphones, on their computers. So it's just another day at the job for me,
Yeah. And so I know you've been busy though. I know you've been at home and working things out. Tell us a little bit about the Global Days of Unity. This sounds like a really great project.
Yeah, man. So every third Saturday of the month, people get together, not physically, but vibrationally. And they get together and their action is an action of something that they love to do, right? So what we're trying to do is raise the vibration of love. And the idea came about by the dozens of studies and peer-reviewed articles about this thing, the Maharishi effect, in which, this university in the early 1970s, they went out with the theory, they didn't know what they were going to do, but they wanted to see if meditation could change the crime rates, right? If they go into these dangerous places where the crime rates were astronomical, if they could simply be there and meditate, what would happen? Well, everywhere they went, crime lowered by 20%.
Right.
And so they did it on a scale that was totally within their means at that time. I think for us at this time, in our means, with the advent of digital, internet, interconnectivity, and global reach, I think we can raise the vibration of the entire planet. And so that's what Global Days of Unity is. It's where everybody in the world can participate in just doing something that they love to do, whether that's cooking, whether that's meditating, whether that's singing, whether that's dancing, whether that's writing, whatever you love to do, whatever your beautiful manifestation of the divine, of your true self, your true calling is all welcome.
And how do I find out more about this? Where do I go to check it out?
Yeah, you can follow the Instagram page, Global Days of Unity. You can go to the website, just Google Global Days of Unity, and I'm sure it'll come right up.
Yeah, and we'll put the URL on the screen here. That's great. I just want to say, we need these kinds of things. We need ways that we can come together, things that we can do physically to express our love and our concern and these things in this period of time. So thank you for that. Tell me about your future, Richard. What are you looking forward to in the next couple of years? What's your big passion project right now?
You're going big with the questions. I love it. Listen, for me, it's always been, how can I reach people, not just on a superficial way, but on a deep level. This has been my life's mission, my life's goal while I'm here, and I think you're the same. And so for me, I'm compiling everything that I've learned from here and here in books, and creating a program, creating a plan, which could eventuate into an app, basically to help the individual reach their highest versions of themselves. Because I think the only revolution is going to be the individual revolution. And then we come together collectively, but everybody has to take ownership of their own life first, period. And so it's a program, it's a membership, mind, body, spirit, right? We're a holistic system. A lot of the people in the inspirational space, I think they give an incomplete message, because without changing what you're eating, your gut health, which changes your brain health, how can you be inspired on a continuous basis, right? So I'm creating a holistic program that anybody from 7 to 70 can use and achieve their wildest dreams, because I think that's why we're here.
Wow, I can't wait to see that. Do you have a name for it yet?
No, not. I mean, I'm playing
Early days then.
Well, it's gonna be something along the lines of a master key.
Yeah.
Because for me, my goal has always been to find this universal master key that unlocks the heart of everybody.
Yeah, great. Well, and people may not know about you because they probably see, your videos and think, oh wow, that's a really smart guy, and he has great poetry and great rhythm, and he gives great production value. I really appreciate his messages. Maybe people don't know about you that you are really serious about your physical health. You work out a lot, and your diet, and so it's not just the mental part and the heart part, which I think comes through just fine. But I know that this is a big passion of you for you personally. And I just think, like the things that we share from our personal experience are always much more powerful than when we share just something that we think is a good idea, huh?
That's it. Yeah, the body, while it shouldn't ever be identified as you, because you're not the body, but we should take care of this vehicle while we have it as best as we can. So I've got over 10 years of research and nutrition and bioenergetics, and how we should move our bodies, what we should put into our bodies. Just real briefly, I tell people it's actually quite simple, because there's been so many diets, right, throughout history, especially in America, and yet we have we spend so much money, but we have some of the worst medical outcomes of any developed country. Because there's so much information, so many salesmen and women trying to make a quick buck. And I always tell people, it's really simple. Sweat every day, and don't eat anything with ingredients you can't pronounce. You do that, you've done half the battle. So I think we got to keep it simple, and that's what I'm trying to do, is simplify a protocol that anybody can follow.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And I wanted to say, I've always been really moved by your willingness to just address the general public. You go out there, you're in front of a lot of people, and it's not like an elite club that you're running. It's really, really for just everybody, average people, any walk of life that stumbles into your work, and it's kind of rare actually to be somebody. I mean, I don't feel embarrassed. I'm going to call you a man of the people, because I really feel like that's who you are and how you show up. And I for one really appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Michael. Shaun. Just another imaginal cell, man. Trying to do the best that I can. And where I come from too, man. Like, I come from the north side of St. Louis, Missouri. The north side is always on the FBI's top most dangerous city list. I was lucky though. I had both of my parents together. Most of my friends didn't. They did as best that they could, and I'm so grateful for them. It wasn't perfect, but they got me to where I am today. Love is so important, man. There's an old saying, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think we got to love each other, man. The foundation of everything we're trying to do is love. And for me personally, I've been very lucky to have the love of my parents. And I want to spread that to each and every person, because there are a lot of people that grow up where I come from that think, they're all alone in this world. There's nobody that cares about them. There's so many people like that, and I wanna show them that I'm here, and that we can change our self-image, and we can change our mindset to something that emboldens us and doesn't take away from who we truly are.
Yeah. And then what future comes from that, huh? Like once we get complete.
Wow. Beauty. And we don't know. That's the thing, in the Tao, they say, the result, you don't own the results.
Right.
You can only put in as much as you can in the process.
Great. So let's keep working out on making the world a unified, loving place. I'm ready for that daily practice. We'll look for your Global Days community for sure. Thank you so much from my heart to your heart. I'm just happy to be with you again. And I'm sure our audience will really appreciate your kind words and encouragement.
And I want to salute you too, man, for always walking the walk. I know you committed your life to this stuff, man. And it's beautiful. You've answered the call. Seriously, you continue to answer the call every day, and you continue to show expressive ways of the divine, of beauty, of where we can be, not where we are. So I really appreciate you too, Michael Shaun. Thank you for what you do and who you are.
Lots of love, Richard. I'll give you the Zoom hug.